Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, that thing you've probably heard a million times before growing up, just in life in general. Are people laughing with you or are they laughing at you? Which one is it? Well, I think that's an important question to ask in the age of clown world Biden. Are people laughing with Joe Biden or are people laughing at him? Because the way I see it is very clearly that people are laughing at Joe Biden. And that'd be one thing if it was old, kooky Uncle Joe, former senator, former vice president Uncle Joe, whatever, the guy's brain is melting, you know, it is what it is. It's another if he's the president of the United States. If people are laughing at the president of the United States, then people are laughing at the United States as a whole, as a global leader. Well, Joe continues to be Joe, the national embarrassment that he is, the global embarrassment that he is. Here he is, once again, struggling to read off a teleprompter, looking like a complete fool in front of an audience of his supporters, in front of an audience of Democrats, and even they can't help themselves but laugh at this absolute clown. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, you know, when I was younger, I had this English teacher who was such a bore. I used to sit in her class and it was just one monologue tone for an hour straight, kind of like the Peanuts, you know, womp, 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 womp. It was absolutely terrible. But you know what? After being subjected to Joe Biden speeches over the last 2.5 years, I miss those lectures. I would rather be there than here.
The world's leading emitters to help poor countries deal with the impacts of climate change. They called it the G7, the Build Back Biden, Build Back Better, and we realized that got confusing. So now we don't call it that. What we call it is, here's the bottom line. Look, we're the ones that caused the problem. The United States. We cleared all our land.
Build Back Biden. They're laughing at this guy, and then he tries to play it off as if, oh, well, you know, it's confusing to some. No, it's confusing to no one. It's literally only confusing to you. You're the only person who continues to call it Build Back Biden because English is too hard and the teleprompter is the final boss. That's not a us problem, Piss Pants Biden. That's a you problem. Holy moly, the crowd doesn't know how to react. There's some nervous laughter. There's some people actually buying into his ridiculous, antic, trying to play it off as a joke as if he meant to say that. And then there's obviously people in the crowd who are just laughing at him because the guy is a complete monumental walking, talking, or can barely walk and can barely talk disaster. The conversation I want to have, however, I want to use this situation to talk about something that I think is pretty important, just how utterly dishonest and frankly, how deluded and partisan these Democrats are. High-ranking Democrats and Democrat donors and such go to these events and literally cope. They tell themselves, this is perfectly normal. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Joe Biden suffered 2 brain aneurysms in the 1980s. We covered that extensively during the 2020 election. He's not well. It affects his speech as well as many other of his, let's just say, mental faculties and some of his behavior. He's falling upstairs, falling off bikes, tripping over sandbags, shuffling his feet. Wires are like deadly objects, like deadly hazardous objects to this guy. Can't have cables on the ground in his office. Staffers have to practice extreme cable management. All of this is going on. He continues to stumble all over himself and fumble all over his words. And you have these Democrats like a bunch of freaking sheep clapping along. Yes, Mr. President. Yes, the greatest president of all time. Who are these people? How do these people exist? It's unreal. I've never seen such a group so dishonest. A group that is so brainwashed by the establishment, they're literally vote blue no matter who drones, who will vote for anybody presented to them. A lot of people have been saying a grand jury could be convinced to indict a ham sandwich. Well, Democrat voters could be convinced to vote for a damn ham sandwich. It's unreal. Of course, we know it's not just Joe. Nobody seems to be talking about or cares about Dianne Feinstein, or Dianne Feinstein, still not sure how to pronounce her name. Either way, tomato, tomato. You don't hear any Democrats calling for her resignation and a replacement when she's literally suffering late-stage Alzheimer's or dementia. She's been in the hospital for, I think, 6 or so months. She has not been present at the Senate to vote, but when questioned, and in her mind, she's been present voting on every piece of legislation.
What have you heard?
What have I heard about what?
About your return. How have they felt about your return?
No, I haven't been gone.
Okay.
You should follow me. I haven't been gone. I've been working.
You've been working from home is what you're saying?
No, I've been here. I've been voting. Please, either know or don't know.
That's a Democrat senator. Now, not to make fun or make light of old age and deteriorating health, we're talking about elected political leaders here. I mean, there has to be some sort of standard, but when it comes to Democrat voters, there is no standard other than, are they endorsed by Nancy Pelosi? Did MSNBC tell me that I should vote for this person? If that's the case, is La Twitter Resistance supporting this candidate? Well, if that's the case, then they have my vote. That's basically the standard. In other words, no standard at all. Jerry Nadler's another one. I mean, the guy literally pooped himself while on the stage standing next to Nancy Pelosi at the podium.
Work on this subject, not part of this package, but part of preserving our democracy. But that
Democrats have politician fossils representing them in office. One who has dementia and literal damage to his brain. Another who falls asleep during important hearings and pooped his pants while on stage next to Nancy Pelosi. Another who's in late-stage Alzheimer's, above 90 years old, and doesn't even know where she is. And then, of course, this guy, John Fetterman, who, I guess, just continues to be John Fetterman.
No, I would just really like to, the 95, obviously that, you're pretty much preoccupied with 95.
He's clearly not okay. And actually, just to really put things into perspective, recently Joe Biden and John Fetterman did an event together, as surreal as that sounds, where Senator John Fetterman referred to a Democrat congressman as his friend, Congressman Boyle Bile.
It's a pleasure to be here and to introduce my friend, Congressman Boyle Bile.
Well, thank you. I'm Congressman Brendan Boyle.
It's all just so surreal, seeing them all together on stage at the same time. I mean, just to really drive the point home, here's actually another John Fetterman highlight from that same event, where he's praising and touting Joe Biden.
And now I'm standing next to the president again, next to a collapsed bridge here. And he is here to commit to work with the governor and the delegation to make sure that we get this fixed quick, fast as well, too. This is a president that is committed to infrastructure. Yeah, and then on top of that, the dual kind of law of the inflation bill that is going to make sure that there's going to be bridges all across like this, all across America getting rebuilt.
So you have that, then you have this.
True international effort to pressure. What must be what?
I was going to foot.
The Democrat Party is an elected nursing home, and we're supposed to believe that they're the party of progress, young people, and progressive ideas, new fresh ideas. The only thing that's fresh are the fresh diapers that are being changed round the clock on all of these old fools. An absolute disgrace, a laughingstock. People aren't laughing with the Democrats, they're laughing at them. At least those who aren't brainwashed by the Blue Anon MSNBC nonsense that somehow, magically, mysteriously continues to work. Honestly, if you really think about it, it also shows you how pathetic the Republican Party is, that they can't take on these geriatric incompetent fools. The current state of politics is simply sad. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. You know that we would love to have you here. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you on the next one.